Okay, good morning, folks. I think we'll get started. I'm sure there'll be a few people that will continue to log in and join us. Um, so I want to welcome you to today's Business Support Series webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Friday morning. We've got a large number of registrants, so that's great for a Friday. My name is Kent Roberts. I'm Vice President of Policy here at the Halifax Chamber of Commerce and your host for this morning's webinar. As part of the Halifax Chamber's business recovery strategy, we've partnered with SimplyCast to offer their digital marketing communications and management platform for free to all of our members for a limited time. Long before the pandemic, we knew that a strong digital approach could help all businesses operate better, create new opportunities, and create future growth. And after several months of businesses adjusting and adapting through the pandemic, we wanted to find a way to support our members and take away some of that stress. SimplyCast's platform is an all-in-one communication tool that can help you automate your marketing, improve internal processes, and make your life substantially easier. And today's webinar will help explain how this platform can support your business. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions for the presenter. When we get to the Q&A, feel free to type any other questions into the chat box, and we'll hopefully have time to get to them all. Our presenter and guest speaker today is Harrison Regan, Account Manager at SimplyCast, who's going to run us through the platform. Harrison's been doing dozens of discovery calls with our members every week to help them identify challenges in their business and a SimplyCast tool that can help them with those challenges. One of the things, I've been on multiple calls regionally and nationally, and it's been very clear that the businesses that adapted and digitized during this pandemic definitely had a leg up on those that did not. So we've really turned to SimplyCast to help our members move through that process. And we're thrilled to have Harrison here this morning to brief our members on what SimplyCast is doing. So Harrison, welcome, and thank you for joining us, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right, hello everybody. This is as you can see here, the series of use cases for digitizing and COVID-19 reopening and recovery, and I'm going to dive right in. So before we get into the full introduction on this side of things, I just want you guys to imagine something, essentially. Imagine the idea of automatically being able to track any and all visitors to your location without lifting a finger. Some organizations are using pen and paper for COVID-19 contact tracing. But what if there was a way to do it by leveraging a common communication channel, SMS, or texting, as you might know better? If you have your cell phone handy, you can actually send a text message to the phone number 11011. The body of the message should just be the word check. So if you send the word check to 11011, and then the response you're going to receive will be within that check, will be in response to that message, essentially. And that's literally all you have to do at the bare minimum to actually do the basic level of contact tracing. Just having essentially a text message with a keyword being sent into a number. So essentially, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit properly and SimplyCast as well. I'm Harrison. As mentioned earlier, I've been with the company for 3 years, and I work as an account manager, which essentially means that I work with a lot of our clients in different capacities, trying to help them out or help with doing the most we can with the platform for them, essentially. SimplyCast, meanwhile, is a local technology company located right here in Nova Scotia, Dartmouth to be specific, and we focus on engagement and communication automation. What this means is that the solution can be used to create automated workflows to complement the existing processes within an organization. This can be for things as simple as weekly or monthly newsletters, all the way to automated reminders, thank you messages, and personalized communications. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, SimplyCast has been supporting organizations as they navigate the new normal and cope with business disruptions. Today, I will be taking what we've learned and sharing it with you. So, right now, many businesses and organizations have either reopened or are in the process of reopening. However, there is still a lot of uncertainty about what we are reopening to. Right now in Nova Scotia, we're fortunate to have very few known cases and new cases lately, but as we're all aware, our second wave is a very valid possibility. We've even seen that up to a little bit, although definitely we're doing fairly well. Right now, businesses are facing ongoing public safety concerns, restricted capacity. You see a lot of this in terms of bars and restaurants, in terms of things like the new operating protocols and legislation and rules that are being enforced. Altered customer preferences, reduced demand, as well as the potential for a long recovery period as we all wait for a vaccine to be available to the majority of the public. All this may result in a triple hit on businesses, market collapse, uncertain recovery periods, and the uncertainty of customers returning. So what does this mean for you? Well, SimplyCast and the Halifax Chamber have partnered together to give chamber members a unique opportunity to provide digitization technology to support COVID-19 recovery. What does the partnership look like? Well, through this partnership, chamber members will get access to an all-in-one digital solution specifically built for business and nonprofit organizations. The platform is an all-in-one system and includes access to multiple channels of communication that are interconnected and accessible to users. This allows for easy communication with contacts as well as data collection and reporting to increase capacity for HCC member organizations. So we can get into the specifics of the offering later if needed, but essentially the option for chamber members is an exclusive digital offering to support reopening and recovery. This is a value add to your existing membership, so there is no licensing fee to be paid by members. Also, all usage for the first year is covered as well, so there's literally no cost to members until late 2021 due to the agreement between SimplyCast and the Chamber. So with all of that in mind, I'd like to talk about some use cases that your organization can consider implementing to help support your COVID-19 reopening and recovery process. These use cases are specifically beneficial to businesses and professional services, both for COVID-19 response and recovery, as well as regular processes. So first up, on July 1st, 2014, a new piece of legislation called CASL came into effect. If your business isn't compliant, it could face penalties of up to $10 million, so you should make sure CASL compliance is high on your priority list. The legislation pertains specifically to any commercial electronic messaging as well as installation of computer programs. Canada's anti-spam legislation is what this is actually called, and refers to a law that establishes compliance requirements for those who send emails with the primary purpose of advertising or promoting a commercial product or service. Our platform, this use case is designed to show how our platform helps with that CASL compliance. And the big part of that is that all emails sent out via our SimplyCast email marketing system will automatically include two mandatory compliance options. One, automatic unsubscribe links. So our system automatically adds an unsubscribe link to the bottom of every email sent from our system, ensuring there's always a clear, easy to use, and fully functional unsubscribe method included with every email. And two, the postal mailing address. So the sender of the email, the person or company noted in the from label, must display a physical postal address within the content of the message, and that is included automatically within the platform. So before you send commercial messages, you need to be absolutely sure that each of your contacts is opted in to receive electronic messages from you. Clients can sign up through a form to confirm they wish to receive communications from you, and in general, you need to obtain opt-in consent from each contact. However, there are a few CASL compliance exceptions when you do not require direct opt-in consent. Express consent refers to a contact who has given you permission to contact them with electronic messages. Contacts can opt in through an online or physical sign-up form, over the phone, at the point of sale, or by responding to a coupon offer or contest. Implied consent, meanwhile, is less direct, but is still acceptable under CASL legislation. This refers to a contact for whom it is reasonable to believe that you have permission to send messages. Implied consent is based on you having a prior business relationship with the contact. To see if your contacts may qualify for implied consent, you'll want to review the CASL exceptions. This form over here on the right-hand side would be an example of express consent, where they're potentially filling out their information and their email in a very clear situation where they know they're entering their email for a response. Additionally, asking for opt-in consent helps to clean your lists anyway. It gets rid of older inactive contacts who are no longer opening or responding to your messages. This process, in addition to focusing on CASL compliance, will actually improve your delivery rates and weed out any email addresses which can act as spam traps. By gaining express consent through a form, you can sort clients to ensure they only receive the information they care about, which reduces the chances they'll unsubscribe. And in order to get along with CASL compliance, you do need to identify yourself or your company as the sender. Enter your name or your company name as the sender. Also, don't include information in your message which is false or inaccurate. Using false information to mislead customers and subscribers is prohibited. With SimplyCast, this information is added to every email automatically. As well, every electronic message that you send needs to have an opt-out mechanism so subscribers can easily take themselves off your content list if they no longer want to receive messages from you. Most companies focused on CASL compliance just include a link that subscribers can click to remove themselves. This option is simple and keeps customers satisfied. Again, this option is automatically added to every SimplyCast email to ensure you're compliant and able to automatically maintain an unsubscribe list. Ensuring your compliance with CASL, though, is just one of the basic things you're able to do with SimplyCast's email tool. Next up, we have adaptive emails. With adaptive emails, you can personalize content for each individual recipient automatically. The level of personalization and targeting can range from simple, including a first name in your email greeting, to advanced, tailoring the email content based on the reader's profile. An important thing to remember about targeted email marketing is that the difference between it and regular email marketing is the personalization, which in turn makes the email relevant to the reader and thus increases the likelihood that they will open not only this email, but also future emails. When done right, personalized, targeted emails seem less like a marketing or sales pitch and more like an email from a real person or friend. So, adapting emails to the recipient is a surefire way to keep recipients engaged. This use case details how the platform can allow for more advanced functionality such as content segmentation, personalized messaging, and extending your social media reach. Adaptive emails help target the content to specific recipients based on where they are located, previous actions they have taken, or preferences they have previously indicated to you. SimplyCast's email tool helps you segment your email by sections and choose which recipients will receive which sections of your email based on specific conditions you outline before sending the email. This means you should only have to create one email rather than multiple with all the content you need for every type of reader. For example, say you're sending an email to your recipients in which you are promoting a regionally based deal on a service. Instead of recreating the email several times and swapping out locations, you can copy these sections out into the same email and use conditional formatting to determine which sections get sent to whom based on the information you have stored on each contact. To help increase your social media reach, you can simply add an element to the bottom of your email that allows users to post the email on their own social media accounts. This is an optional feature, but helps extend reach to people who may not be opted in to receive your messages. Next up, with 74% of all internet users on social media, it is important that you engage with this audience. Building upon the last use case, SimplyCast also includes access to a social media tool to help maintain a strong social media presence. Social media is a powerful force in marketing, and as we can see, over the course of the industry, there are all kinds of ways that managing it can help. This use case shows how you can easily organize your social media approach. You can manage your social media pages easily and efficiently with SimplyCast. Social media is an effective way to engage new customers and spread your message. Automatically target specific customers based on age, gender, and location. Schedule posts months in advance so you don't have to think about your social media marketing every day. And this use case details how the platform can help with the scheduling and organizing of social media campaigns in general. So, instead of posting on social media sites like Facebook manually, consider trying a Facebook automation tool. These tools allow you to write and schedule posts in advance in order to make your social media presence consistent without requiring constant maintenance. Here are the basics on getting started with that. Scheduling posts in advance, writing all of the basic social media content that you want to post to Facebook for the foreseeable future. Usually a month or two is a good amount to start with. Plugging in your content and scheduling it to come out on any day and any time you like. You also get reports. So SimplyCast's Facebook tool provides you with metrics for each campaign. You can then use these metrics to optimize your next campaign as you learn what your followers are engaging with. Leveraging different types of Facebook campaigns. If you have different types of content you'd like to post, consider organizing into different campaigns to keep it tidy. You could even set up your campaigns based on a given month. Twitter, meanwhile, is a constantly growing site and is one of the most popular social media sites. Currently, the site has 320 million active users and supports over 35 languages. Twitter is a great avenue for businesses to communicate with consumers, with the average Twitter user following at least 5 businesses. Consumers are actively trying to engage with businesses on social media. Making this process easier for yourself by using Twitter automation for your Twitter profile can be a big benefit. Here's how. You can schedule tweets in advance, creating engaging content in advance so you don't need to write new content every day, trying to share industry-specific tips and tricks instead of using Twitter to market to your followers. By sharing information, you gain their trust as an industry expert. You can also get reports. So SimplyCast's tool provides you with metrics for each campaign, and you can use these metrics to optimize your next campaign as you learn what your followers are engaging with. Finally, you can manage multiple accounts. So if your business has several accounts, you can manage all of them from SimplyCast instead of having to log in and out of all of them continuously. Next up, pipelines. So a pipeline, also known as a sales funnel, is a monitorable process through which you can sort leads so that you know where they are in the buying process and what they have already received in your campaign. By organizing things into pipelines and sorting them, you are able to see what leads are buying and where they are in your sales process. This helps you refine the process as well as automate certain stages to get people through the pipeline with little hassle. This will also allow you to define the stages of your sales process and will help identify problems with specific parts to focus further on improving those areas. The organization will also serve to make the whole process faster once in place. Simply said, a pipeline helps enable you to keep track of your contacts and where they are in your process. Our software automatically keeps track of where each lead is in your pipeline, so lead nurturing and targeting is simple. You can easily add leads and move leads in your pipeline either manually or automatically. Based on automatically tracked data, you can then improve your pipeline and shorten your sales cycle. This use case details how the platform can help track the movement of clients and allow for messaging to be easily automated. For contacts to initially enter the pipeline, collect basic information using a form or by uploading it from an existing database, and begin gathering inbound leads by designing a customized online form with ease through the drag and drop editor. No coding knowledge is needed. Add in a drop-down choices, radio matrices, checkboxes for targeted quick answers, or place text boxes to get responses on open-ended questions. Those who fill out the form are automatically added to a pipeline and followed up with automatically. Pipelines are a great way to track where your contacts are in the engagement process by either manually or automatically pushing them through various predetermined stages. As these leads move along the process, they are moved through the appropriate stage in the pipeline at the same time. And while many leads may enter the pipeline, only those who are most interested and engaged will continue through to the end. In a sense, it can be compared to a funnel process where there are more leads going in the top than coming out the bottom. These steps can be set to progress automatically in response to changes made to the contact as well. So there's really all kinds of ways you can customize it based on how you operate. With a pipeline in place to move new leads through, it's time to look at how you can increase your contact database and your audience. So solve challenges with bringing more people into your process and generating more businesses. The most common way to collect clients and increase your audience is through a web form. A web form is exactly what you think it is, a form that is hosted online, either on your website or on its own landing page that's accessed through a distinct URL. Using a web form can be an effective way to bring people into your list of contacts without any hassle. If your website doesn't have any way for contacts to sign up to receive additional information from your business, or even just a way to gauge what elements of your site visitors are engaging with the most, a marketing automation platform can help with that. An automated platform can provide sign-up form capabilities, facilitating the sign-up and conversion process by allowing small businesses to build forms they can embed on their websites to collect opt-in consent, as well as general data collection regarding website visitors. Signups received through these embedded website forms can then be sent targeted communications from your business in an effort to generate more interest surrounding your products or services by offering signups, exclusive deals, and offers. Sign-up forms created through marketing automation software don't have to be fancy. As long as they serve their purpose for collecting contacts' sign-up information, that should be enough to increase your number of conversions. Using a web form to collect contact information and follow up to gather more information if needed is a great way of getting all that information organized and easily added into one place. As your audience increases, so do your chances of positive reviews and new referrals. The rediscovered prominence of word of mouth or referral marketing is not just anecdotal. In fact, a more recent study showed that a referred customer is 25% more valuable than a non-referred customer, and referred customers are 13% less likely to defect than those customers who were not referred by someone else. So gaining referral customers depends on the strength of the referral program and the positivity of your reviews. Getting online referrals and reviews is another challenge with which the platform can help. How will you ever get a sense of how your customers are feeling unless you ask them? For example, customer satisfaction surveys are key to getting a general idea of how a new product is doing or what your clients don't like about what you are offering. Knowing if a customer is satisfied or not helps inform how you communicate that with them after the survey. This use case shows how post-job surveying can be used to help secure positive ratings and help prevent negative reviews. So imagine following an interaction, a simple email can be sent asking for clients' basic feedback, and automatic or manual actions can be taken based on their responses. You can literally watch in real time as a report is generated with the answers in both text and visual data, such as pie charts, depending on the question. Every report is generated, exportable with the data itself able to be sorted by date or metadata. Positive reviewers can also be automatically redirected to a landing page, asking them to share their own experience online. This ensures that only the best reviews get shared and posted online. By using a landing page as well, you could actually change where reviews go depending on wherever you need positive reviews the most at a given point in time. On the other side of things, if a customer had a very negative experience, for example, this can highlight a rare product issue that needs to be fixed or a customer service problem with a specific employee. Negative responders can instead generate a task to have someone reach out to them directly. Ask the customer if you can contact them to discuss the issue in more detail and resolve any problems they may have had. You can offer them a coupon, a refund, or a discount on the service to help make up for any inconvenience they may have experienced. The big benefit of this is that if issues can be resolved, and bad reviews never have to actually end up online. So multi-channel marketing automation allows organizations across all industries to increase engagement with their audiences. Between email, fax, SMS, voice, and social media, multi-channel marketing automation provides options for engagement, which widens the scope through which new leads and contacts can be reached. So, with access to these channels through multi-channel marketing automation, how can it be used effectively to increase overall engagement? Implementing a long-term drip can help ensure existing and new clients stay engaged over a longer period, ensuring you're always top of mind. These are sometimes referred to as drip marketing campaigns. These are pre-written, automated emails sent over timed intervals in a series, triggered by a certain customer behavior. These types of campaigns are pretty common for salespeople who use them for lead nurturing. But automated drip campaigns, marketing campaigns, can be used in almost every industry for engaging, nurturing, and building loyalty. The idea is pretty simple. By continuously interacting using a touch point, the recipient will warm towards whatever the eventual end goal is. That could be a sale, a sign up, or even simply engagement on a social media page. These are all great examples of what drip marketing campaigns can do. An email drip can be used to send a number of emails over a long-term period to ensure clients and prospects stay engaged during downtime so you remain top of mind. By using automated drip marketing campaigns to provide useful, relevant information to your audience, those same subscribers actually start to anticipate and welcome your content. That brings us to the end of our use case presentation for business and professional services, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Harrison. I'll jump back in. That's great. Really appreciate that. And I appreciate for folks that are on the line, Harrison covers that material very quickly because he knows it so darn well. I learn something new every time I sit in with SimplyCast and go through some of this information. you know, and it's always fascinating. So we do certainly have some time for questions. So if there's pieces of that people want more specifics on, or want some more detail, please jump into the chat or the Q&A and ask your questions. And some folks have submitted some questions, so I'll start there, and we'll see how far we get in the next 15 minutes or so. So Harrison, first question really on the whole platform, is this doable for a one-person operation, or is there sort of a preferred size of operation that this works for? I mean, or is there even a limit to the size of the organization that this type of platform will work for?
Not that I've seen. We've got customers of all shapes and sizes, be it from very small organizations with one person working on this or one member of the team total, and then the other side of things, we've got very large organizations, international organizations, and all that kind of stuff too. So there really isn't any kind of limit on either side I've seen. And we have account management. So if it is a smaller team, essentially, we have our team members who can help support that and help make things happen if they need to.
Okay, great. And I guess corresponding to that question, is this is it ongoing management for the people that are interested, or do they set it up once and it's done?
Yeah, so again, it depends on the kind of campaigns you're doing. So for example, a campaign where it's going to be ongoing automation, that's a setup once and then it takes care of itself. By comparison, if you're doing social media marketing, oftentimes you may need to update that for each given period, but you can generally set things up once and have them go, if not forever, for a while before you want to set them up again or replan them, that kind of thing.
Okay, wonderful. And this question just came in, and I'll get to it very shortly, so thanks for that. Can an organization integrate the SimplyCast system into their current systems generally?
Yeah, so we have a few existing integration systems with those that already exist. We also have an API, which isn't directly supported by our team, but if you've got developers and that kind of thing that are able to help with that, there are options there, depending on the level of connectivity within the existing platforms you have.
Okay, wonderful. And I'll get to the question that just came in, and I'll add to the question, in fact, a little bit. And you mentioned right at the end that this wonderful program, the partnership with the Chamber and SimplyCast, allows for members to join the SimplyCast platform for free for the first year completely, and then would move in sort of in the second year. So I guess my kind of question is, what does that sort of look like? Let's say we're a year out and someone loves what they've done with the platform and they're starting to move into use. Just can you give a rough idea of what that kind of means? And then the second part of that question is, does the cost of the program include ongoing support once the person has signed up?
Yeah, so I'll answer that in reverse order there. So first things first, yeah, so as part of our account management system, every account has support from a specific member of our team. And then potentially if that person's unavailable, you can go to our general support options. So that in that sense, that is guaranteed for any member of our platform, no matter what. So that's that side of that question. And the other side of the question there, essentially after that first year, the way it's set up essentially is that the licensing fee is covered. So the base price of the platform is taken care of. It's just the usage for email, SMS, fax, anything that's essentially being sent out is going to have a usage basis tied to it. And I believe that looks like about 3.5 cents per any given type of message, but I'd have to double check on those numbers in case they may have changed.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, that's fine. I just kind of wanted to give people a rough sense of what we're doing. And those would be, a lot of cases, theoretically, costs that they would incur with any system. So, I mean, to send that type of text message would be a cost they would incur no matter what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So within an organization that signs up, how many people from the organization can access the platform?
Oh, sorry, a little bit of static there. Would you mind repeating that for me?
Oh, yeah, no problem. So how many people from within an organization can access the platform?
So I believe by default, organizations are given 5 users access to the platform initially, but we can increase that number as necessary depending on the organization.
Okay, great. So this is a question from someone who basically saying, you know, my business is still doing quite well after COVID, but I still need some support. Am I eligible? I mean, I think either one of us can answer that question, but I'll let you answer it.
So I mean, the reality is that our platform is able to be used for any kind of process. So the ones you've gone over already in the use case area, there are tons of options there depending on what you need to do, and there really is a way that it can be used for any organization.
Okay, and are there guides and other supports that will help the average person learn the platform well as they start to get involved with it?
Yeah, so we have a couple of things in that area. One, we have our account managers can help with onboarding, so they can actually help one-on-one make sure you're able to get started on the platform. And then additionally, we have user guides for every single part of our application. And we have a welcome package, which has little quick start guides, so you can get started easily very early.
Okay. And I'm going to go to a question that just came in, and you touched on this, but let me I'll come back to it, and maybe if we've already answered it. But what is the cost after the first year? So what are specifically what are people looking at? And I think you may have answered, but let's go to it again.
Yeah, so costs of the first year are just for usage. A lot of organizations can expect to see about maybe $50 a year, depending on the volume of sending. And that is essentially based on the number of messages you're sending. So if you're doing just automated processes in the background, there isn't much to worry about in that front. Whereas if you're doing lots of texting, lots of phone calls, that kind of thing, you might see a higher cost.
Yeah, I think that's great, because I think it's great to give people just sort of a very tangible number, so that for a small organization, we're not talking about a lot of money based on the value you're getting out of having this type of platform. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are there any other examples, Harrison, while we have you, that you could give us of how the platform can benefit an organization? Anything that you didn't cover that you may be able to expand on?
Yeah, so I think I touched on this very briefly at the beginning, which was the COVID check-in kind of idea there, where when people come into a business, they can actually essentially text in with a keyword and their name to the 11011 number we have. And that actually allowed them to check into that business, and it records all the required information that the province is requiring as part of check-in right now, for example, where it's getting their name, their contact info, which is the number they sent in with, and the time that they entered to get all that information that's being required in a very easy way that is contactless, so you don't have to worry about any kind of sanitizing a physical sign-up sheet, anything like that. It's all taken care of automatically.
Yeah, that's a great example, actually, because I think what's important is that people understand is that once they have this type of process set up in their organization, it's pretty adaptable. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth here, but I mean, COVID is a great example of something that we've had to adapt to. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be something else in the next year or two that would make an organization need to pivot and adapt. And I think the systems
exactly
being very flexible to enable that.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you, Harrison. So I don't have any other questions, and there's no more on the Q&A. So I think at this point we'll give people some more time back in their day and allow and I'll wrap up. But that doesn't mean that this discussion has to end here today. I want to thank everyone for attending today. But the follow-up is really important. So if you'd like to book your own discovery call with Harrison, we'll be sending out an email with the link right after this webinar. And those one-on-one discovery calls allow you to have that very personal touch with Harrison and really dive into what your organization might need and how the SimplyCast platform can help you. From the Chamber side, we've got 2 more webinars before we break for the holidays. On Tuesday, we're hosting a webinar about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. And on Thursday, we're having a webinar about the Chamber's Trade Accelerator Program, or TAP, which can help your business grow through export. So this program offers access to experts to help your business break into international markets and actually build a solid export plan. So this webinar will conclude today, but it will be available very shortly on YouTube. So if you want to share it with colleagues or friends and have them get an introduction to this platform, please do. Other than that, I want to thank Harrison and the folks at SimplyCast for the great work they're doing in partnership with the Chamber. And I hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend. So enjoy some local shopping, and we'll see you all very soon. Thank you, Harrison.